Hello and welcome. My name is Zafar Iqbal, and you are watching the Mojo Story. Kunal Kamra, the stand up comedian, has rather mocked at Maharashtra Deputy Chief Minister Eknath Shinde, and that's triggered really an outrage among Shinde's supporters, which also led to vandalism at the Mumbai's Habitat studio. While Kamra's parody referenced Shinde's 2022 political rebellion, Shiv Sena workers stormed the venue. They sort of ransacked the venue. You can see on that screen that those are his supporters really throwing away the chairs and damaging the property. Now, an FIR has been registered against him and all those people who were involved in that vandalism. The Shiv Sena has escalated threats and with warnings to Kamra that he could face in Maharashtra and in other places of India. So that is the situation that's developed in Maharashtra. To discuss this, we're joined by Rahul Ishwar. If we can have Rahul on the screen. Hello, Rahul. Welcome to Mojo Story. Rahul Ishwar, a philosophy author. Rahul, this Kunal Kamra's joke was aimed at Maharashtra's political defections. Do you it was a style? Do you think it's increasingly met with hostility from political parties, or do you feel that he indeed crossed the line?
Sir, am I audible, sir? Two submissions.
Yes.
Yeah, sir, two submissions. First of all, there is no place for violence and vandalism in any democracy. So, I
Right.
don't think anybody in their right mind will ever justify any vandalism or violence. Yes, protests can be there, but protests should be peaceful. Protests should be non-violent. And I believe Kunal Kamraji is crossing the line, especially when people are damaging reputations and especially using strong words like gaddar, Patna Viske Godi में था or reference to Bala Saheb Thackeray ji. So there is a thin line between these. So when people who are in public domain, when they are airing a political comment, they should expect some kind of a backlash. But that
Yeah.
backlash shouldn't be vandalism, shouldn't be violence, shouldn't be destruction of property. I mean, that's a given. I hope the law will take its own course and law will definitely see to it that such kind of protest never goes to an extent of violence, vandalism, hurting somebody, these kind of things. But having said that, Kunal Kamraji, as we all know, has been very disrespectful, impolite to all the people. There was a very senior news personality he was harassing in the flight, which led to the banning of his using that flight for some time. So there
Right.
are some lines that we should cross. We can definitely joke. Even in US, as you know, the US president usually has a roasting dinner where even the US president, none other than the US president, roasts everyone. And it is usually said that Barack Obama's one such comment led to Donald Trump even contesting the election. So it is definitely natural, and they are open and free to even joke such kind of things. I still remember, I think it was Joe Biden who said a joke about CNN, saying that when Fox decided to give millions of dollars, CNN was remembering how can they have millions of dollars. So it's such a open thing. So we should be open and honest about it. But at the same point of time, some lines need not be crossed, and that line should definitely be respected.
Right. So you feel that line should be respected, but who will draw that line, or there should be some sort of a self censorship from these comedians or stand up artists? This comes on the heels of what we saw recently. India has got a latent show, and now this is the second such incident less than a month.
I mean, there is a slight difference because I think there is universal consensus regarding what Ranveer Ahlawadia said. I filed a complaint. So many other people filed a complaint. So that is not even a discussion point because it is too out of the table. It was involving parents, sexuality, so many other things. So
Yeah.
that is absolutely way off the mark. But this can definitely be a matter of debate. See, but one thing anybody who protests should remember is I was the person who initiated the protest against Sri M. F. Hussain. So the first two decisions that we made is we will always address Sri M. F. Hussain as Sri M. F. Hussain or M. F. Hussain Ji because he's a very senior person who has brought a lot of laurels to India. And we said we disagree with the paintings, not the painter. So this distinction should be made. Sometimes, especially some people in right wing, when they go for protest, for the search of energy and for the search of vibe, they go to vandalism and violence, and that's an absolute must. I mean, that's an absolute not to do thing. So that kind of a self-restraint from the protesters' part should also be there. And left liberals, my request to left liberals is they should be open and honest to understand that there are dignity, senses involved. And gaddar, and as you know, Shiv Sena has a internal rebellion. They are a very close-knit kind of a family. People split apart. Eknath Shinde has a very eventful life with the loss of some of his loved ones earlier life. So there is an emotional thing calling gaddar, especially after Bala Saheb legacy, who is going to take the mantle. So many questions are there. I think the word gaddar really provoked it rather than Fatnav's
Right,
Godi, but that,
right.
that, that word really provoked them.
And this was this song from Dil To Pagal Hai
Dil to
movie, and
pagal hai.
he remade that song and used that word in that, obviously with a clear reference to Eknath Shinde. But what followed was vandalism. And after that vandalism, the Habitat Center, which was the venue of this program, has now shut. It's just shut down. And again, that's not the right messaging, because it may not be giving a platform to him or people like him only, but it may give a platform to many others who will now be constrained and restricted
And
from
absolutely, that's very
giving those
sad.
performances.
And I have been to Habitat Center. It's very an eminent space. They should not be doing. I mean, they should not be shutting down. Yes, it is very painful. I have read their statement. It is a very reasonable statement where they say we cannot operate until our security, our property, the assurance has been given, and it's the responsibility of the state. I hope state will be more responsible, including every minister who will be actively condemning. I'm in Maharashtra right now. I have a missed statements, but I don't think anybody from the active ruling party condemning the incident or vandalism. See, supporting Eknath Shindeji is something else, and not condemning violence is something else. You can do both. I strongly support Eknath Shinde. I strongly condemn Kunal Kamra, but this is unacceptable vandalism. Is the sense of statement that somebody should come up with. I was expecting Devendra Fadnavis ji to come up with a sensible, such a sensitive balance. Maybe he even was a bit swayed because his name was invoked. They all know that Shiv Sena is a sentimental issue and touchy issue. So it's a complex issue, but more responsibility by the political class should be shown. Otherwise, then it's an incentive for other people to also do vandalism. Next time something else happens, no, it is an incentive for them. For example, when we were protesting CM Hussein, one hard right group wanted to vandalize the paintings. No, we said, don't even touch it. Our protest is our protest. His painting is his painting. We have every right to protest. He has every right to paint. But that kind of my freedom will only go till your nose principle. We should be able to follow. Otherwise, democracy will cease to exist.
Absolutely. But there have been Shiv Sena leaders have been reacting and warning Kamra. Let's in fact hear one of the reactions before we proceed on.
कुणाल कामरा ये भाडोत्री कॉमेडियन कुछ पैसे के लिए हमारे ऊपर टीका टिप्पणी कर रहे हैं, हमारे नेता के ऊपर टीका टिप्पणी कर रहे हैं। कुणाल कामरा, अब तुम महाराष्ट्र नहीं, हिंदुस्तान में भी अभी घूम नहीं सकते। हमारे शिवसैनिक है ना, आपको आपकी जगह दिखाएंगे। और संजय राउत यूबीटी वाले, क्या आपकी हालत हुई है? अरे हमें बुरा लग रहा है। हमारे नेता के ऊपर टीका टिप्पणी करने के लिए आपके पास कार्यकर्ता भी नहीं बचे। क्या हालत है आपकी? इसीलिए ऐसे भाड़ुत्री लोग इस्तेमाल करने लगे हैं। थू आपके ऊपर। संजय राउत, अगर आप में हिम्मत है ना, तो आप हमारे ऊपर टीका टिप्पणी कर। ये क्या भाड़ुत्री लोग, आप हमारे ऊपर टीका टिप्पणी करने के लिए पैसा देके आप इस्तेमाल कर रहे हैं। कुणाल कामरा, आपने शिवसैनिकों को नाद में लगने की कोशिश की है। हम हिंदू हृदय सम्राट शिवसेना प्रमुख माननीय बाळासाहेब ठाकरे जी के शिवसैनिक है। आपको महाराष्ट्र नहीं, पूरे हिंदुस्तान में भी हम घूमने नहीं देंगे।
किस प्रकार से जो है करारा जवाब कुणाल कामरा
देखो, करारा जवाब मिलेगा कुणाल कामरा को। कुणाल कामरा भूल जाएगा, माफी मांगेगा हमारे पास। हमने माफी मांगेगा कि मैंने गलती की है।
This is not a warning, this is a threatening. Do you think this backlash rather exposes political insecurities rather than any genuine
and,
outrage?
and let me be very honest, especially as a person in media for the past many years. I mean, with due respect to Shiv Sena, and I have known them, many of them personally. See, in the age of new age media, digital media, everyone wants to crack the hero buzzy dialogue. Everyone wants to crack the punch dialogue. Everyone wants to crack the strongest dialogue because they have understood the age of moderation is giving away to the age of strong reaction. I think some senior leaders should always, come in with more moderation. And I think we should make moderation and middle path more cool than hardline statements like this more cool. So, it is unfortunate that even in social media, you can see people in X, people in Facebook, people in YouTube, they are always going for extra strong reaction, insulting. And with due respect,
राहुल जी ऑन योर स्क्रीन कल करेंगे कुणाल कामरा की धुलाई 11 बजे संजय निरुपम. What do you say?
I mean, I hope Sanjay Viruvamji and even Sanjay Rautji, I mean, even Sanjay Rautji, when Kangana Ranaut's home was demolished, that was a wrong move. You may have a beef with Kangana Ranaut, but demolishing her home with an excuse. It is just expanding the JCB justice or injustice. There
Yes,
is no justice
here
in
you can
JCB.
here you'd
Exactly.
see that on the screen. In fact, Sanjay Raut and Kamra with a small sample of that bulldozer
JCB.
of a JCB when she said जो उखाड़ना है उखाड़ो, and then they came up with उखाड़ लिया. And
Correct,
when he
correct.
said that ukhad liya, it was sort of the Kamra sort of in a way endorsed that in a
I
sense
mean,
that
this
holding
is
and
the
showing that.
this is the issue with some people in our left liberal spectrum too. Kunal Kamraji, as we all know, is a left liberal person who is more in that political ideology. The issue is there is no justice with JCB. JCB itself is injustice. JCB is a great machine. That's a different thing. So, answer to one JCB is not another JCB. Answer to a JCB in Uttar Pradesh is not JCB in Rajasthan or Kerala or the counter JCBs, because JCBs will only increase JCBs. We need some sort of moderation where people are ready to fight. Let us scream out in our TV media channels. Let us scream to Safar Iqbal sir. Let us fight with Barkhaji. I regularly attack Barkhaji with all my vigor. But a sense of respect, moderation, sense of the person on the opposite side, that respect should be there. Otherwise, democracy will die. Because tomorrow, any party is going to not to be power for a long period of time. Some other party will come. They will again go for the JCB injustice. Another party will come. So this will keep on repeating. This cycle of violence and vandalism will continue. Tomorrow, if somebody, God forbid, Uddhav Thackeray ji ko, yeah, Aditya Thackeray ji ko, if they are going to abuse or something, their persons will also come. Otherwise, they will be branded as the softer cynics. So, in order to show that who is the more true cynic, they will resort to vandalism. This will keep on repeating in a deeper way. So, I think we should encourage moderation. We should encourage strong response, strongly worded response, but not violence, intimidation, threat. And this is antithetical. And even the Nagpur violence, I have been reading from morning that some of the houses will be demolished right now. Supreme Court has clearly stopped that demolition, without notice. But unfortunately, our politicians is doing this because they feel there is a theater out there that people are there to clap for it. And if let me be very honest, if Yogi Ji is doing this, Devendra Fadnavis ji feels if Yogi Ji is doing and I am not doing, I am not strong a leader enough. So I know a person from Kerala or person from Bengal, or I know Himant Biswa Sarma ji will feel if they are both doing, if I am not doing, people will not take me seriously. So this whole, we are going to extremes, and India has to come back to moderation. Where let us look at independence times. Patel ji was center right, Nehru ji was center left. They disagreed so strongly with so many things, but there was a common unity, and we need to find that common unity. But in this Trump era, it is very important. People like Trump in the West has created such a culture of having hardline statements. But even Trump, I don't know, Trump don't use JCBs. So we have to go back to an era where we have to feel a sense of moderation again. And I hope everyone will have that self-restraint. Otherwise, it is going to be a very tough days ahead for India.
Right. In fact, we also have the soundbite of Rahul Kanal, a Shiv Sena Yuva worker who led the vandalism.
सर मैं आपको यही बताना चाहूँगा कि जैसे कि मैं एक परिवार से आता हूँ जिस परिवार का नाम शिवसेना है। हमारे बड़े जिसको हम हमारा आदर्श स्तंभ मानते हैं, हमारे शिंदे साहब, हमारे उप मुख्यमंत्री महाराष्ट्र राज्य के, अगर उनके बारे में जिसने जो हमारी शिकवन रही है घर की, जो बाला साहेब की शिकवन रही है, क्या शिवसेना स्टाइल में ऐसे लोगों को जवाब देना ही चाहिए और हमने दिया है। ऐसी मानसिकता रखने वाले लोगों को आगे भी ऐसा ही शिक्षा मिलेगी।
लेकिन जिस तरीके से आप भी गए, तोड़फोड़ किए, आपने कानून कहीं ना कहीं कानून को आप जाते शिकायत करते, लेकिन कहीं ना कहीं आप एक अपने तो आपने गलत भी किया है।
सर हमने शिकायत भी की, हमने उस ओनर को कॉल भी किया, हमने उस जगह के ओनर को भी कहा। इस जगह पे 6 एफआईआर पास्ट में हो चुके हैं, बहुत सारे किस्से यहाँ हो चुके हैं। ऐसी जगहों को जहाँ पे ऐसे क्रिमिनल एक्टिविटीज़ होते हैं वहाँ पे ज़रूर देखने की ज़रूरत है। और हमने करने के बाद में जो कानून जैसा कहेगा, कानून से बढ़ के कोई नहीं है और हम कानून के पास जाने के लिए तैयार हैं।
बट ये कानून हम हाथ में कैसे देख सकते हैं? वही कुणाल कामरा को आप क्या मैसेज देंगे और आपके ऊपर भी मामला दर्ज?
बस कुणाल कामरा को यही मैसेज देना चाहेंगे कि आज जो आपने ये काम किया है आपको तो इसका सबक जरूर मिलेगा, लेकिन आपसे जिन लोगों ने ये काम करवाया है ये एक कॉन्स्पिरेसी है और ये एक पेड कॉन्स्पिरेसी है। इसका भी खुलासा जरूर मुंबई पुलिस और कानून सक्षम है।
Rahul ji, you heard him here. Historically, satire has been used as a tool for holding power to account. But in today's India, do you think that comedians face greater risks for political humor compared to the past?
See, to be honest, partially because of the changing political cultural partially because of passage of time, we have become thin-skinned. So I used to read that during Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru days, when R.K. Lakshman used to give a satire or sharp cartoon, Nehru used to encourage, or I mean, people were they used to encourage healthy criticism. But I think generally world over, because of the social media age, leaders are perceived by their followers and by media at large for the strength and vigor of their statements. So in order to show strength and vigor, many times they overreact. And unless you have to scream from the housetop has become a norm in the new age media. So a sense of managed controversy is good for politicians. All the politicians feel like that. I've personally talked to both right and left, where leaders in person admit that a sense of controlled controversy is good for them, because that will thrust them into limelight. That will create a sense of debate. They will be the center of attention. So the leaders can be polarized. The whole idea of polarization should give back to the idea of consolidation. There is a difference between polarization and consolidation. In polarization, there is always an enemy. In consolidation, there are friends together. So even though it's a nuanced difference, we have to go back to this era. Otherwise, I know India is a land with such diversity. This happens with Hindi and Tamil, especially this happens with North and South. This can happen with Hindu and Muslim. This can happen with Brahmin and Dalit, different castes. So the whole idea of polarization and a person trying to champion one cause saying that the other is our enemy, the otherization has become a major issue. And
Right.
searching conspiracy in almost all things has become the norm. So searching for conspiracy, otherization, the other group is coming to attack us. So it is manifesting itself in various forms. I don't think anybody in their right mind will even think that Kunal Kamra will need any kind of payment for a joke. He's a person who get revels in joke. But they are implying that Sanjay Raut and the other people have paid them to create a joke. So it is all conspiracy, people fighting each other. So a sense of moderation should come back. Otherwise, it is going to be bad politics. That's going to happen.
Right. Let's also hear Uddhav Thackeray. He's also reacted. Let's hear what he had to say.
कुणाल कामरा ने मुझे नहीं लगता कुछ गलत कहा है। गद्दारों को गद्दार करना ये की बात नहीं है। जो गद्दार वो छोड़ो, वो नहीं वो पूरा गाना आप सुन लो, चाहिए तो आपके पास होगा तो बजा कर दिखाओ। उसी गाने का जो अर्थ है वही तो है। नाही, कुणाल कामरा जे सत्य आहे ती जनभावना बोललेला आहे आणि असं जर असेल तर तुम्ही सांगा की जो कोणी सत्य बोलेल, सत्यमेव जयते खोडून टाका आणि गद्दारमेव जयते लावा।
लेकिन पारी से बात कर रहे हैं, अभी शिवसेना के नेता सदन में हंगामा किए, बाहर
नहीं, इस हमले से शिवसेना का कोई संबंध नहीं। ये गद्दार सेना ने किया है, इसका कोई शिवसेना से लेना देना नहीं है। जिसके खून में गद्दारी है वो शिवसैनिक हो ही नहीं सकता। गद्दारांचं उदात्तीकरण करणारा।
Right, you heard him saying that Satyamev Jayate. But
My
Kamra has a
my humble request would be, I would have respected Uddhavji more. I really have respected Uddhavji more had he said, no, that word Gaddar should not have been used. We still fight. No, he was a long time compatriot of me. Yes, there was a division, but that vandalism is wrong. And had Eknath Shinde also said, that vandalism is wrong, this would have brought a better culture. See, the point
Right.
is, Kunal Kamra has no inhibition in attacking anyone, especially on the right side of right wing of the spectrum. And as we all know, Shiv Sena, whether it is Shiv Sena or Shinde Sena, they are both largely on the right. Uddhav Sena simply tracked to the other thing because of their internal compulsions. So rather than, that's the reason why, I think some words should not be used. You may remember the Maut Ka Saudagar controversy that happened.
Yeah.
There are some words that should not be used, and it will create bad blood in a big way. So that's the reason. I'm a huge admirer of Modi ji, but I went on record publicly saying that Modi ji should not have uploaded Kerala story, because everyone knows it's a lie. And 32,000 girls missing from Kerala is an astronomical lie that everyone knows it's a everyone, because I'm living in Kerala, I know the ground reality. So a PM directly endorsing, he could have avoided. So there are some things. I think people like Shashi Tharoor is a good role model where he is ready to appreciate the positive of the other side and perhaps even point out the negative of his own side. That kind of a politics is what we need, where
Nuance.
we are honest with, if there somebody else is doing good, let us appreciate. And if there are, like Amir Khan song, Kahi Daag hai to chupaya kyun, hame khud se nasre, chukaya kyun, kind of an attitude should be there. Otherwise, what happens is negativity creates more negativity. Negativity into negativity is positive in mathematics, but negativity into negativity is more negativity in real life and politics.
Uh, Rahulji, we know that Kamra was hinting at Shinde, but he hasn't directly named him in his joke. Yet the reaction suggests that politicians feel deeply threatened by humor. What does this tell about the state of political discourse in India?
I think rather they should be more accommodating. They should have a. I think it was Arun Jaitley ji who used to say that we need to have a thick skin, and we need to stomach such kind of things, because it is natural. They used to do that, and I particularly recollect leave humor. I think it was in 1944. Godse tried to kill Mahatma Gandhi when he was in Sevagram. So after the assassination attempt, Mahatma Gandhi requested Godse to stay with him for 8 days in Sevagram. And Mahatma Gandhi said this dialogue, it is recorded, that Godse has some kind of issue with me. That's the reason why he's trying to kill me. Let me see whether I can solve by talking it out. So, no, these are not personal enmities, ideological or politics-based enmity. So we should know that hate the sin, not the sinner kind of a Jesus Christ approach is what we need. Hate the
Right.
position, not the person. That kind of approach should be there, and that kind of respect should be there. And a person like the stature of Uddhavji should be leading that. Even when the entire fight was happening, people like Sharad Pawarji, who's a very senior Maratha politician, these people should intervene and set a middle ground where people
Right.
can work on that middle ground, respectfully disagreeing with each other. And I think even 2 days back he met with Ajit Pawar. I don't think Sharad Pawarji will ever use a word like gaddar to Ajit Pawar, even though there was a similar thing happened with. So a sense of moderation should be there in politics, and that moderation and nuance is lacking. People are going to extremes, and extremes are always bad for politics and India.
Right. Before we wrap up, there's also this reaction of Jaya Bachchan. Let's also play that.
मैम कुणाल काम जिस तरीके की बात सामने आ रही है, जहाँ पे उन्होंने शो किया था एक कॉमेडी,
ये तो आप करिए करना बोलने के ऊपर पाबंदी लग जाएगी तो आप लोगों का क्या होगा? ऐसे ही आप लोगों की हालत खराब है। पूरा रेस्ट्रिक्शन है आप लोगों के ऊपर। अभी आप लोगों को भी कहेंगे ये न्यूज़ बोलिए और कुछ मत बोलिए, जया बच्चन का इंटरव्यू मत लीजिए। फ्रीडम एक्शन ओनली जब मारामारी हो, ऑपोजिशन को मारो, महिलाओं का बलात्कार करो, उनको टांग दो, मर्डर खत्म कर दो, जी जान ले लो, व्हाट एल्स?
शिवसेना के नेता कह रहे हैं कुणाल कामरा ने उनके नेता का अपमान किया, एकनाथ शिंदे का अपमान किया।
अरे आप लोग आप जो पार्टी रियल पार्टी उसको छोड़ अब सत्ता की उसमें दूसरी पार्टी में आ गए, वो अपमान नहीं हुआ? वो बाला साहब का अपमान नहीं है?
Right. You heard it. You heard it, Rahulji. So she's really talking about freedom of expression, but clearly
See,
this is
one,
one.
one interesting thing, Sir, the interesting thing is whenever free speech, it is free speech when our opponent is attacked. It is hate speech when we are attacked. That is the
Right.
golden yardstick for all our
Yes.
politicians. When we like a free speech, we call it free speech. When we don't like a free speech, we call it hate speech.
Right.
So it is always, and the Jaya Bachchan ji even invoking Belatkar and all, I would humbly submit it is non-contextual. So I think India will, or the India's youth will definitely search for a leader who can talk a sensible middle ground, who can accept wrong as wrong even if his party tells, who can accept right as right even if his rival tells. That kind of attitude is what we should try to cultivate in our new India.
Right. We'll have to leave it here, Rahulji, but thanks so much for joining us and for sharing your thoughts. And thanks to our viewers for watching the Mojo Story.
It's great to see you here. Thank you for watching our work. If you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to click the bell icon and subscribe to Mojo Story and support independent, robust journalism.